What's going on, everyone? In today's video I'll be explaining Pendulum Magicians 2017 in detail because they're getting a lot of stuff dropping that new Pendulum set, which is released towards the end of this month. So it's the sole purpose of this video to explain how the new deck will work in detail. So without further ado, let's begin. Alright guys, welcome to my mock deck list for my explanation video for the Magician deck for 2017 with everything that will be released in Pendulum Evolution. Now, as a disclaimer right here, if you guys look into my side deck portion of this video, the side deck consists of stuff the deck most likely will be running if the Pendulum Evolution set give us these said cards. Cards being the Performer Power Odd-Eyes Dissolver and Toon Magician. Now, originally I shot this video with these two in the main deck because that's pretty much how they run it in the OCG. But then I did my research afterwards like a retard and found out that he's a champion pack promo, or like one of those promo cards, and he's also a promo card. So these may or may not be in the Pendulum Evolution set. So I had to tweak the main deck to my liking and pretty much give it my own spin on what the OCG deck list was running in an original concept. So it's going to be my main purpose in this video, like I said, to give you guys a breakdown of how I think the deck will be run. And just to talk about every card that new that's came out of the deck. So once again, this is just a mock-up deck list. This is not exactly how people are going to run a deck. This is more than likely what a list will pretty much look like. So let's get to the profile. Dragon Pulse Magician, the deck runs this at 3, so 1800 beaters, 900 defenses, spellcaster, and Magician. The reason why the deck can run this card at 3, because it's low 4, he's a normal monster, and you can abuse him with Rescue Rabbit to bring out a first turn Start Time Magician. Now, Start Time Magician in this deck is really important because when you XYZ summon him with the above materials, you can add to your hand one Dark Spellcaster type Pendulum monster from your extra deck, or one Dark Spellcaster type monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Then his other effect is once per turn, if Pendulum monster and your monster cards in your Pendulum zone will be destroyed by battle by card effect, you can send one Spellcaster type monster from your deck to your hand to graveyard and stick. So you can pretty much go rabbit into these two guys, bring him out, search out a Skullcrow by Joker because he's Dark Spellcaster type. So yeah, that's just really great because it's a Pendulum monster too. The list also runs about, let me add this together. The list runs about in the OCG one Odd-Eyes Pendulum Dragon, and in my build I'm running one of the Unicorn for the fusion. But Odd-Eyes Pendulum, he pretty much is in here to abuse with the Odd-Eyes Fusion to bring out your Odd-Eyes Vortex Dragon. Honestly speaking, from the games I did play test with, now I'm not gonna lie, I suck with the deck, but he wasn't that great. He just tutored out your Pendulum cards, and you mainly use them for the fusion. So really great card to use, just mainly for fusion pretty much. Then they also in the OCD they ran an Oath Dragon Magician. Now he was in the original Pendulum Domination structure deck. His effect basically reads: if you have a Magician card in your other Pendulum zone, you can add one face of Magician or Odd-Eyes Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand, except Oath Dragon Magician. You can only use his effect of Oath Dragon Magician once per turn. So he pretty much recurs dead cards and cards. He's pretty much like your recur card pretty much. So it's pretty standard card you want to run as a one of. And then once we get the June 12th ban list, Joker's back at 3, which is why this deck is very viable. Then the deck also has they use one Black Fang in the OCG. Now he's pretty good. Now the thing I like about the Black Fang Magician, the Violet Poison Magician, and the Iris Magician is when they use their first effects, it triggers their second effect, and all of their second effects pretty much say when they're destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can target. When they're destroyed by battle or by card effect, they get a specific effect. So their first effect, they're just like Plush Fire, Performer Power Plush Fire, or when he destroyed, he triggers himself. So be on the lookout for that ruling in the near future, because a lot of people are going to be confused on how that goes. But pretty much he says, once per turn, you can target one face-up monster opponent controls. Its attack becomes half its current attack. Then destroy this card. The attack change lasts until the end of the turn. Now he's pretty good just to go beat over some of your opponent's cards. But he's a scale 8, 1700 attack. He's darker than spellcaster, so he works with your start time magician for 1, and he fuels your extra deck. Then you run your 2 Wisdom Eye Magicians. Now this is going to be really powerful too, going to the Magician structure deck. This due to the fact that he's pretty much the card that he replaces himself, fuels your extra deck for your rank 4 plays, which is really powerful. Effect basically reads, if you have a Magician or Pendulum card in your other Pendulum zone, you can destroy this card, and if you do, place 1 Magician Pendulum monster from your deck or Pendulum zone, except Wisdom Eye Magician. So yeah, he's really great. Then we have the Iris Magician. His effect pretty much is, once per turn, you can target 1 Dark Spellcaster type monster you control. Any battle damage your opponent takes from attacks involving the targeted monster, and their monster is doubled. For the rest of the turn, also destroy this card. Now, he's really great. He can cause potential OTKs. He destroys himself, and his second effect is, when it's destroyed by battle, by card effect, you can add 1 Pendulum Grab card from your deck to your hand. Now the Pendulum Grabs, you run them as 1-ofs. I saw some people with deck lists online run 2, but the LCG player I saw ran as 1-of. Pendulum Grab age is pretty much stated. Your opponent cannot target spellcaster type monsters you control with spell effects. If a face-up Magician, Pendulum monster, or monsters, and your monster card or Pendulum zone leaves the field, add 1 Magician Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. You're going to use this effect of Pendulum Grab ages once per turn. So that's pretty great. They can't target your pendulum stuff, and it replaces itself pretty much. Then a trap pretty much destroys cards. Your opponent cannot target spellcaster type monsters you control with trap effects. You can target 1 Magician Pendulum monster card in your monster zone or pendulum zone, and 1 card your opponent controls to destroy them. If you did not destroy both cards with this effect, you can send 1 card in the field to the graveyard. You can only use this effect of Pendulum Graph space time once per turn. Now this is a pretty tacky card, which is why you're running at 1. It's good for those slow plays. You can play your Joker, set this, pop the Joker, pop a card. Really powerful. Now in the OCG they run the 1 Perform Power Pendulum Sorcerer because it's at 1. In the TCG I predict we might run 2 to 3. In the OCG they usually use Sorcerer to search out the Odd Eyes Dissolver because it's a Perform Power and he helps the fusion summons, making it so you don't have to use the fusion, but we don't have that right now. So in my build, I pretty much use Sorcerer to add your Lizard Draw, Guitar Turtle combo to draw 2 cards pretty much, and to search out a Odd Eyes Unicorn. He's really powerful. I mean, there's no point of going over his effect. Then we also have the Violet Poison Magician, scale 1, which is really great. Effect basically reads, once per turn, if a Dark Spellcaster type monster you control battles before damage calculation, you can make that monster gain 1200 attack. Didn't destroy this card. This attack increase lasts until the end of the damage step. Now, when his destruction effect pretty much says, when it's destroyed, you can target 1 face card in the field and destroy it. Now that's really good because if your opponent pops him while he's in a scale with an MST or a Twin Twister, he can pop one of the monsters. So it punishes your opponent for destroying these 2 guys right here, Iris Magician and Vital Magician with Twin Twister, which is why things like Cosmic Cyclone are more viable. So yeah, I already went over the Rescue Rabbit, which is the main reason why you run Dragon Pulse Magician. There's another Magician that's, can't think of his name, Dragon Pit Magician, that when you pitch a card from your hand, you can destroy spells and traps, but he's a higher scale, and he's not targetable with Rescue Rabbit, which is why you don't run it. But Dragon Pulse Magician is really great. His Pendulum effect is pretty much, I didn't even go over his Pendulum effect, which is kind of bad. You pitch a card that's target 1 monster in the field to destroy it, which is really great. So yeah, other than the Pendulum cards running deck, guys, you're going to obviously run your Ghost Ash and Beautiful Spring, your Ghost Ogre. These 2 go hand in hand. You pretty much need these to compete in this format against all the meta decks like Zodiacs, Dinosaurs, etc. And yeah, the Guitar Turtle Lizard Draw combo. Now the Odd Eyes Unicorn is ran that because it's just pretty much a standard good card to run. It's a higher scale, just like the just a half different scales. Now Duelist Advent or Duelist Alliance in the OCG, well, vice versa. It's a really great card. Add a Pendulum card from your deck to hand for consistency purposes. You want to max out in 3 of these instead of using 3 Pendulum cards. Reason being, you don't want to you want a 1-for-1 in the Ghost Ash versus 2-for-1 in the Ghost Ash. You don't want to pitch a card in front of Ghost Ash and use minus yourself by 2. You want to at least play this card, and if they minus you, they minus you by 1. So that pretty much makes sense. and I run one to fusion for consistency purposes. 3 Cosmic Cyclones going based on OCG. And I already went over the Spell and Trap, and then the Sky Iris is just there, also for consistency. And once again, this is mainly because I had to tweak the deck list to my liking. You can also play with these ratios to add more fusions and etc. Now when it comes down to the extra deck, it's pretty standard. Ice Vortex Dragons, Performer Gatling Ghoul. Gatling Ghoul is really unique. A lot of TCG players didn't get to play with him to his full potential. That may change past the Pendulum Evolution set. His effect is when he's fusing something, you can inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each card in the field. Then if he's fusing something using a Pendulum monster as material, destroy a monster your opponent controls. If you inflict damage to your opponent, he could tap monster's original attack. So he's an OTK factor, and the Vortex Dragon is your negate card. Omega is in here just because you can randomly bring it out sometimes depending on the cards you have on the field with the pendulum summons and etc. And once again, this actually really don't matter. I just slapped it together for the video. 1 Odd Eyes Meteorite, 1 Absolute, the Utopia combo, 2 Star Times, Tornado Dragon because it's good. You know, popping Spell and Traps. Got the Castells and the Abyss Dweller. So yeah, as a recap, I don't have a replay like I usually do in my explain videos. That's just due to the fact of YGO Pro, the servers are really slow. So every time I go on YGO Pro, like it takes forever to make one move. Then not to mention the after playing Unlisted, there's not a lot of good players playing on Unlisted. And I really want to get this video out here to give you guys the knowledge for this deck. But yeah, man, this deck is really it seems to have a lot of potential going for the North American WCQ. Just simple the fact that it's a pendulum deck, and from my testing with it, it's really solid. So I can imagine a lot of you pendulum veterans out there can definitely do some damage with this deck. So I hope you guys take the mock deck list and tweak it to your liking and make something good of it. So yeah, this is my explanation portion of the video, and cue the outro. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, give it a big thumbs up. And as I always tell you guys, if you're new to the channel, I would love for you to subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh content. I try to upload as much as I can. And also, if you guys like things outside of Yu-Gi-Oh, I do have a second channel where I do reviews on Dragon Ball Super, other animes I watch, movies, and TV shows. So you guys like that and think it's interesting, also subscribe to that channel, Innovation Reviews. So yeah, man, this is Chris from Innovation Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'm signing out. Peace, guys, stay innovative. Deuces.